So I want to be clear with everybody about what this training is about, because sometimes people get confused between the label or the name of someone called a peer mentor or somebody called a peer sports specialist. We had some people who want to be peer sports specialists sign up for this training this morning, but they're not on. Well, they might be on, but I just wanted to make sure everybody knows what this is about. This is peer mentors are people with developmental disabilities that work with people with developmental disabilities. Sometimes we have professionals come to this training or the Why Become a Peer Sports Specialist training because they want to educate the people they work with about becoming a peer sports specialist or a peer mentor. So you might be in the right training if you're here to help people with developmental disabilities. Either you have a developmental disability or you're a professional that works with people with developmental disabilities. So I just want to make sure you know if you're in the right training. I'm Sherry Rushman, and I was a peer sports specialist from 1996 to 2003. And I have been working with Adam on moving forward training, which is for peer mentors and peer sports specialists, people that want to be either of them. It's a pre-employment, voluntary, optional training. It's not peer certification training. It's not peer mentor certification training. It's just a free, optional pre-employment training for people who are trying to figure out if they want to be a peer mentor or a peer support specialist. I work at Oakland Community Health Network, and I've been doing trainings for people with developmental disabilities and mental illness for years. And some of my courses are for social worker CEUs as well as people with disabilities. Okay, go ahead, Vicki, that's good.
And my name is Adam Furman. I'm the peer mentor coordinator at Easter Seals Newark. I also received the peer mentor training through the state, I would think around 2009. And like Sherry said, I am the co-facilitator for the Moving Forward training with Sherry as well. So really looking forward to this webinar today, just as a means of getting more word out about what a peer mentor is and what they do.
So what will we cover today? We're going to cover what a peer mentor does, some of the things they do. Of course, they do a lot of things that we might not cover all of it, but we're going to cover a great deal of it. Why I like being a peer mentor. You know what? I invited Amy and Matt, I thought, didn't I, Adam?
Yes.
But I don't know if they're here today. Let me look at the people.
I don't believe so. I don't.
So you might be able to just talk on that slide a little bit about what you know of the people that you work with, that you mentor, maybe what they like about being a peer mentor if Amy and Matt don't come today.
Okay.
The third thing that we're going to talk about is how to become a good candidate for peer mentor positions. We're going to talk about training sessions you can attend that will be a good source of information to work with people you serve. Some wisdom from me, even though I'm not a peer mentor, some of the things I did to prepare to be a peer sports specialist are similar to people becoming peer mentors. So a lot of it is similar. So I'm going to share a little of my story about being a peer sports specialist and supporting people who are peer mentors. And then we'll have questions and answers for you.
Okay, So the first slide here, we're just going to talk about, just in broad strokes, what a peer mentor does. And the hallmark of any peer delivered service is that a peer mentor uses lived experiences with intellectual and developmental disabilities to help others. And like any peer service, these peer mentors and the individuals they serve have similar life experiences. They provide information and support for an individual's life, and they share problem-solving strategies based upon what they've learned in their own life experiences.
Okay, also they share their story when appropriate. We encourage them not to share their whole story all at once, but listen to the people that they're working with and see what parts of their story would be appropriate and helpful to the person they're working with. They work on gaining the trust of the person they are working with, and through sharing their story, provide hope to individuals.
A key portion or a key point of being a peer mentor is being listed in the individual's plan of service, and then being in service in that plan of service, just so they know what the individual needs in terms of the peer mentor services and what goals they're working on in that individual area. Peer mentors also teach the individuals with whom they work how to self-advocate and live the life they want. The key point in that is assisting the individual with the skills of self-advocacy, but not advocating for the individual, leading that individual through that process instead. Also, help with finding different community resources in their life, such as information about how to apply for a job, how to apply for housing assistance, and other resources that they may need in their lives. The peer mentor can also assist in a crisis situation if the individual's support coordinator is unavailable at the time. Just another listening ear and another part of the team for that individual that's being served. And a peer mentor can also help individuals be full citizens and fully included in society. And a way that they can do that is to help them be aware of resources in the community that they may be interested in, whether it be areas where they may have hobbies that are similar to people in their community, or maybe helping them connect to other social organizations as well.
Now, Adam, I'm going to read the next slide, but if you have anything to add, please add to it. So other things that peer mentors do is they can help an individual explore the person-centered planning process. The person-centered planning process is used when people develop their year or whatever amount of time goals in a person-centered planning process, which is geared to the person writing their own goals and steering their own life in their treatment. Do you have anything to add about that, Adam?
Usually, when the peer mentor is involved in that process, they're usually involved during that pre-planning process. They can really serve as a person to sit down with and think about, what do I want to talk about at my meeting this year, and what are topics that I want to avoid. and the peer mentor can serve as a connection point to the support coordinator there as well.
Oh, great. Thank you.
You're
Also,
welcome.
the peer mentor helps improve their the person they work with quality of life with everything they do as a peer mentor. They help individuals understand self-determination. Do you have any information about that, Adam, about how they help people understand self-determination?
I would say the major point of that is simply to let people know who are self-determined that they are empowered to hire and fire their own staff, but also informing them of the responsibilities that go along with that. Chiefly using your Medicaid funded resources in a responsible way and in ways that are outlined in the plan itself.
Right. Thank you. How people assist individuals with navigating transitions. Could you share about that, Adam?
Sure. We all go through transitions in our lives, and some are larger than others. The transitions that we're thinking about here is facilitating maybe an employment transition, changing jobs, or looking for a first job, or moving out of their family home into a home in the community. That's another transition. And also transitions as related to possibly determining what field of study they want to work on and thinking about the resources that may need to be utilized to make that possible, such as helping them access disability support services offices at the school they're going to.
Great. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah.
They also help with assessing supports and services. And what is that all about?
Well, with that, I would say they can also assist people with navigating entitlements, maybe helping them stay on track in terms of paperwork they need to fill out or paperwork they need to renew on a regular basis for those entitlements.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. And a peer mentor can also help the individual they're serving to be aware of community safety skills. The peer mentor also helps the individual understand supported decision making, and supported decision making is a new term of art in the mental health field. We found that is a preferred term to the term of guardianship. So just helping people understand that they can have a circle of support around them that can help inform their decisions without that individual giving up their personal rights as and not getting a guardian in that situation.
Thank you, Adam. I also had a question about the safety skills. So what are we talking about when we're talking about community safety skills?
Well, and I actually think it may be covered in a later slide here as well, but
oh, okay.
Safety skills such as maybe not volunteering as much to a stranger that they may run across, the basic ins and outs of communication and the appropriateness of sharing different information about yourself. Also, basic tips such as locking up one's home at night or keeping your valuables with you and not leaving them unattended.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. The peer mentor can also assist individuals that have an experience that may make their individuals with whom they work a little more on the reserve side, and may engage with them in terms of communication strategies to help them open up and communicate with others in the community. Uh, the peer mentor um, also helps individuals with those goals that are listed in the individual plan of service, and the peer mentor can also assist individuals, uh, like we talked about earlier, making progress in the areas of life they want to make progress in and helping them live the life they want.
Okay, Adam, this next part, I should have double checked with Amy and Matt, but I know I sent them an email inviting them, but if you could just share, if you can, why they like being a peer mentor, the people that you supervise.
Okay, I think it really comes down to thinking about why any of us get involved in any endeavor where we're giving back to our community. It makes us feel good, and it makes us feel like we're passing along the experiences that we've had, and maybe some of those pitfalls also, in helping people maybe avoid some of those pitfalls that we've experienced in our own lives. And the idea that that either I or the peer mentors that I supervise are able to put forth that wisdom while improving somebody's life, hopefully down the line. That's what I've heard is a really rewarding experience. Also, being a peer mentor is a paid position as well. So the fact that individuals can generate income from being a peer mentor is also very rewarding for them as well. I will say that a lot of times, uh, individuals who are peer mentors may get calls from the individuals that they're mentoring off hours, and that is really the time when it's good to remind the people you're serving at the beginning of the peer relationship of clear boundaries. But I really think that peer mentors enjoy being a valuable part of somebody's support circle that they're serving.
Thank you. I appreciate what you had shared. I know when I've talked to Amy or Matt, they're very happy being a peer mentor and find it very rewarding. Adam, this is your slide.
Okay. And this next slide here is how to become a good candidate for peer mentor positions. And in addition to completing the pre-employment training that Sherry talked about, which is the moving forward peer pre-employment training, it's also imperative to complete the state level peer mentor 101 training. And I or somebody at CLS can help the individual get connected with that if that's something they're interested in. And let's see. And they must complete a around 100-hour internship that I supervise or that somebody else at CLS would supervise. And that internship may include going to meetings or sitting in on peer mentoring sessions. And I think that's another bullet in this topic coming up. But again, I or an individual at CLS would supervise that internship and keep track of hours. And additionally, attending those trainings that are listed in the last bullet can also count toward your internship hours as well.
Okay,
And
this next slide is you, Adam.
okay, there are also at Easter Seals Mork, the peer mentors are contract workers, but as contractors, they have to fulfill certain annual contract training requirements, just like any other employee or contractor, and and by virtue of attending these trainings, they are expected to expand and build upon their knowledge base. And one of the ways they do that is through attending quarterly Tri-County Peer Connect meetings where individuals with developmental disabilities as peer mentors or individuals as peer support specialists or recovery coaches come together and share wisdom of the peer service realm with each other. And that's a good way for peer mentors to expand their knowledge base. And I've also found that just in terms of getting your foot in the door, volunteering on a committee within the organization that you're seeking employment is a good way for that organization to see what you bring to the table. And I know that's how I got my foot in the door at Legacy Mork, going on 14 years ago now. And like I mentioned in the last slide, a good way for peer mentors to, or people who want to become peer mentors, having a sense of what the role is to shadow a peer mentor and sit in on a peer mentor session. That's really a eye-opening experience there. And again, attending additional trainings there too is very important.
Okay, so we've mentioned moving forward. It's a very important part of becoming a peer mentor. Adam, isn't it required that they complete a moving forward for their peer mentor internship or peer mentor requirements?
Yeah, because I feel like it really gives a good taste of what the peer mentor experience is, and without that introductory knowledge base, that peer mentor 101 session that we talked about can be kind of overwhelming. So yes, I think it is certainly a good idea, and dare I say a requirement to complete that prior to progressing in your training.
All right, great. Thank you. So it's about a 17.5-hour education program. And it's a very good introduction to what a peer mentor or peer support specialist does. It really helps people find out, and experience the training in a way that helps them decide if this is something they really want to pursue. to be a peer mentor or peer support specialist. Training topics include role of a peer mentor, using your story as a tool, listening, communication, and general teaching. And there's much more that we cover in the peer mentor session. And we also go over the requirements and that are necessary to become a peer mentor that we kind of went over here today. It says not required to become a peer, but offers good insight into what it means to be a peer. I probably should have taken that line out because peer support specialists do not have to attend moving forward, but peer mentors are asked to attend moving forward as part of their training.
Correct.
So the next training is going to be virtual, and it's going to start September 8th through October 6th. I think it's on Fridays from 9 to 12:30, 5 Fridays in a row. And people really get a lot out of it. Thank you.
And the trainings are hosted on a Teams platform as well. Right.
The very way you entered into this training today. We also have Speechcraft. It's an 8-session program designed to develop public speaking ability and increase confidence in overall communication. Includes written and impromptu speeches, body language, active listening, and critical evaluation. Speechcraft is so wonderful for people to attend. People get to know each other and hear each other share speeches every week, starting with week 2, a 3 to 5 minute speech about any topic they would like to talk about after they do a speech on themselves. It just improves confidence for peer mentors to communicate with the people they're going to be working with. So it's just a great class, not only for public speaking, but just overall confidence. The next session is going to be in person, starting September 17th and go for 8 weeks. And the graduation will be November 2nd. The week before November 2nd, there will be no class. I'm on vacation. I'm the one that teaches Speechcraft, so hope to see you in the fall in person. And we haven't done it in person for quite a while. We've been doing it virtually since COVID, but now we're going to go back to in person. A lot of people find that very rewarding, being in person doing Speechcraft. Thank you. So Adam referred to some education sessions that would count towards the peer mentor internship, and any of these trainings that are listed on this page, am I right, Adam, will fit into their internship hours?
Yes.
Okay, so I was pretty sure about that. And so these are all the trainings that are being offered in 2023. RAP for people with developmental disabilities is a really good training for people with developmental disabilities. Sometimes people other than people with developmental disabilities attend RAP for people with developmental disabilities because it has a real neat workbook with it, and family members can come if they think it would help their loved one with a developmental disability. But we're going to be doing that virtually, and all these trainings on here are virtual. So thank you. So is there anybody here that's attending the training today that wants to share what you could do to prepare to be a peer mentor? what you have done and what you do want to do to become a peer mentor? Or you would suggest to the person you're working with to do?
Jerry, why people are thinking about that, something that we didn't talk a lot about is being really involved in your own individual plan of service, being involved in your person-centered planning process, really thinking about your goals and being prepared for that person-centered planning, being quite involved, even maybe having an independent facilitator conduct your person-centered planning in your independent, your individual plan of service. So I think that, knowing your own goals, working your own goals helps you prepare, and really understanding the person-centered planning process really helps you prepare to be a good peer mentor.
You just stole my next part.
Oh, darn it. Sorry about that.
That's okay. At least we get to hear it from two different views.
And I've learned that from you, Sherry. You've been my teacher on that.
Yeah, so I agree with Vicki 100%. You can go to the next slide, Vicki. Is there anybody that wanted to share what you could do to prepare to be a peer mentor? I want to make sure we give you enough time. Is anybody here that has a developmental disability that's interested in becoming a peer mentor? You can introduce yourself and share. All right, so go ahead to the next.
One more thought, Sherry, and Adam mentioned this a little bit earlier about volunteering. Sometimes just volunteering helps you learn how it is to have a work life. So you got to be at some place for a certain time. You have to be there for a period of time. You might have do some preparation, making sure that you're dressed appropriately, and be able to speak with individuals. So volunteering can also be a really good way to help an individual learn about work life, what it would be like to work. So I just wanted to share that thought too.
Yeah, that's great.
Agreed.
So go ahead. Did you want to share something, Adam?
No, I was just agreeing with Vicki.
Okay.
The whole idea of volunteering or serving on a committee, serving as a good entry point to introducing yourself to the world of work.
So I worked as a volunteer at the Department of Social Services, and I worked with a blind social worker doing his paperwork and going with him to see the people he worked with. And I also entered data into the computer database, and just being there gave me skills about how to be an employee and how to be appropriate as an employee. They also had work clothes that they gave me to wear on the job that were professional, dresses and suits and stuff to work at the Department of Social Services. So my experience as a volunteer really helped me. I also wanted to work full-time, and I had never worked a full-time job. At the Department of Social Services, I was just part-time. So I worked for a woman who was pregnant, who in her third trimester had to stay in bed. And I worked for her, taking care of her kids and cooking and cleaning and doing laundry for 40 hours a week for 3 months to help me get ready for any full-time job. And it did help me feel that I could work 40 hours, because I was working 40 hours doing that, even though it wasn't exactly what a peer support specialist does. And then my social worker told me about the job for being a peer support specialist, and she thought I would be good at it. So those of you who work with people with developmental disabilities, you might be able to see somebody that you think would have great potential to be a peer mentor. By all means, lead them to this webinar. We're going to offer it at least every 3 months, probably. and lead them to this webinar and also lead them to moving forward. And sometimes you can tell when somebody would be a great candidate for being a peer mentor. And then, like Vicki said, with person-centered planning, before I got the job as a trainer, I had a chance to become a person-centered planning training called Essential Lifestyle Planning. And at CNS, I was able to do treatment plans in a person-centered planning process. And I learned quite a bit about it, but I also applied it to my personal life because I wanted my dream job to be a trainer. And so I used the IPOS training, treatment planning meeting done in a person-centered planning process to really get that job. And it was very helpful for that. And then also it helped me help people I was working with. I could educate them, like Adam shared, about the person-centered planning process. It's really a person's rights, because sometimes a case manager has such a big caseload, they don't have time to share with all the people they work with how great their treatment plan can be done in a person-centered planning process. So sometimes we as peer mentors or peer support specialists can be a real advocate to that process. Is there anything else I forgot?
Sherry, I wondered, was there anything that you put in your individual plan of service that helped you or moved you towards becoming a peer support specialist?
I was already a peer support specialist. I got hired as a peer support specialist in 1996 when person-centered planning became law.
Okay.
And I did do a person-centered plan until I got the job as a trainer in 2003. So I was working at CNS as a peer support specialist, but I was also working at another branch of CNS to receive my services. And so even though it didn't help me become a peer support specialist, I already was one, it did help me on the job. You know, it really helped me since I was learning about it as an employee and as a person receiving services.
Thank you, Sherry.
Okay, Adam, you can do this one.
Okay, and here you see the contact information for myself and Jennifer Krentowski, who has my role at CLS, and we have our email contacts and our work phone numbers there. So if you have anyone on your caseload or anyone with whom you're affiliated who, as a result of this webinar, you think that they'd be a good fit for peer mentoring, make sure to contact me and I will get them the information for the next moving forward training in the fall, like Sherry mentioned a few minutes ago.
So are there any questions that you might have from listening to this webinar? Is there something we didn't cover that you have a question about, or?
I think you guys did an amazing job at incorporating everything that we needed to know. I don't know, I don't speak for everybody, but I speak for myself.
Great, thank you, Heather. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Any other thoughts or questions?
Also, I sent out the information for this webinar. You can send me an email afterwards if you have a question or a concern or want to know more information. Vicki, are we do you want me to send out the PowerPoint to the people that were registered. We had 18 people registered and only 6
We-
came. So
We- It's up to you. If they want it, we can send it for those who attended.
okay. So that's what I'll do. I'll send it to the people that attended today. Yes, Heather, did you want to share something?
No, I just wanted to say that I would like a copy of the PowerPoint so that because I didn't take
Yeah.
really good notes, so then that would be able to help me with notes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you signed in through an email, we can send it to that email.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else to add, Vicki?
Nope. This is the contact information. We probably should have put Adam's information there.
Well, the reason
did.
why we didn't, we discussed that was because
Okay.
he's on the page ahead
Sure.
with his
Sure.
contact information, so we didn't repeat it.
Yep.
But he can be contacted just like Vicki or I can be contacted.
Certainly. Yep.
His information is just on the another
Previous slide.
sheet.
Yep.
Yep. Good.
Well, thank
Well,
you
thank
very
you.
much for attending, and we'll look forward to seeing some people that hear about this and maybe watch the video that we recorded today. So if you're watching by video, if you have any questions, do contact us and we'll be glad to help you.
Yep. And thank you for your time and have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. You guys have a great rest of your day as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.